what I am going to explain you, that related subject you can follow now. Before that, you can read what I wrote in this comment, because this is the main problem in all over the world. You just read first. Good, but I am telling one truth. Main focuses benefits. For that benefits, most benefits from organs. That is what life threatened in many places. How threatened and who is engaging to all of that, ask to video vlogger, because that route I know and they know better than me. You just follow. Everybody is greedy. That is why this type of formations are going on. I am telling the truth of root of all causes. Just follow the matter, please. Okay, you can go through this video.
What happened in the last few days has turned the table upon the Chinese, and I think they're caught in quicksand. Establishment 22, the boys of Vikas, or SFF as we know them, they went across, they hammered the Chinese, and they captured Chinese territory. There was also that element of a message when the Special Frontier Force went and took over those heights from the Chinese when they destroyed a camp and took it over. India was trying to pass a message, and they were saying, look, the people who hammered the Chinese are actually Tibetans. You took their land and they hammered you. We're dealing with China. China, which has no democracy. China, which has no electoral process. China, which does not have the rule of law as democracies know it. It does not have freedom of expression. It does not have freedom of religion. It is not secular in the sense that they dislike religion. Religion is banned. We are not dealing with regular people. We are not dealing with a normal country. All these countries have ganged up together against China. They have come together against China. And who does China have standing in its quarter? Pakistan? North Korea? Is this company that any country would appreciate? I mean, what kind of a country says that my best friends are Pakistan and North Korea? What kind of a country is that? Now, what India is doing is banning application after application, and this is hitting the Chinese image extremely hard. Those people who say that this is not a big deal, I can tell you, this is a super big deal. Now, the Chinese are caught between the devil and the deep sea. The Chinese don't know which, as we say in the Indian army, the Chinese don't know which side is north. The compass is not working. They're totally confused. They're stuck there. I'd like to say to the People's Liberation Army, winter is coming. And to Xi Jinping, I'd like to say, You know nothing, Jon Snow. Hi, this is Major Gauravari and you're watching Defensive Offense. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
You just follow his voice. See, there is too much from his side. So I'm making many videos, no need. You just follow.
So that you get our latest videos first. So, Weber, in the last few days, something very strange and unique has happened in eastern Ladakh. And so far, history is witness to the fact that whether it was 1962 or 1967, the wars or the skirmishes that we had even in 67 in Nathula. And then you talk about Galwan this year. What happened in the last few days has turned the table upon the Chinese, and I think they're caught in quicksand. And I'll tell you why. I'll give you 2, 3 reasons why I'm saying this, because the Chinese typically work on the principle of overwhelming force. So they came to the line of actual control to teach India a lesson. And what happened was a small special forces force called the SFF, the Special Frontier Force, also earlier known informally as Establishment 22 or Establishment 22, and called Vikas. We had Vikas when I was posted in Poo, we had one Vikas battalion with us, and I'll tell you more about these guys. It's fascinating, these Vikasis, what they do and where do they owe their origins from. So anyway, the Chinese started off in Pengongso Lake. They were repulsed. My unit is currently stationed there, and Pengongso Lake forms a large part of my unit's AOR, area of responsibility. I'm able to divulge these things because they've already been discussed in the media, and the media has shown photographs of my unit and by name, identifying 17 Kumaon. So the unit did a fantastic job, but what has actually come into the limelight is this small special forces unit. Now, who are these people? What is the Special Frontier Force? Many people in India had never heard about the Special Frontier Force. Now, it goes back to India's defeat in the 1962 war. There was a feeling of humiliation. You've lost a war. But we lost a war not because of military reasons. We lost a war because of political reasons. And I don't want to make it political, but the fact is that we used a very small quantum of our army. We did not use the Air Force. We should have used the Air Force because at that time our Air Force was far, far better than the Chinese Air Force. But we did not use our Air Force.
Just wait. I'm just going to follow up you what the comments I got from another person, and that is a close one, and maybe you doubtful with his voice, but this fellow is telling the truth. But you just watch that comment too. Unfortunately, that one I am missing. I'm trying that one. Okay, I am just missing that one, but I am going to explain into my little knowledge of English. One man, one just like this video vlogger, he is an big officer. What he is doing, he is just forcing front force and he is sitting and looking promotions. That is why this border issues are going on. Like that one comment is I got it. But I told that this is not a matter. This is only a reasonable matter of Tibetan problem and our border problems, not with offices. But one thing I am sure here in India, Chhattisgarh, what is happening in many places, and what is behind the curtains to do that activations, and what is the main advantage of that. All are we call Maoist, but maybe there is Maoist problem. More than that, there is something else also that I shall purely say hospital mafia is running everywhere, all over the world. So I am not I missed in this comment box that one, but you just remember that that is the real cancer for our world, hospital mafia. I think 30 years, 35 years back, I was in nearly Saudi Air Force with close to Aramco. I saw a film, Death Warrant. That Death Warrant is a alien is collecting heart, our body heart and selling to other planets. See, that is actually happening now. So I am telling, be careful with our surroundings. Please follow that video.
Force now. What happened was that we suffered a massive reversal. A massive reversal. In the month of November 1962, the ceasefire was signed and the Chinese went back. We lost Aksai Chin. Thousands upon thousands of square kilometers of land, which was Indian territory, the Chinese occupied. 1962 still rankles somewhere in our hearts because it wasn't a fair fight. You know, to a very large extent, our own political setup, maybe because they were naive, maybe because they didn't know, or maybe because Nehru wanted to play statesman. You have those cravings inside you to be seen as a statesman, as a global ambassador of peace, flying white doves. Now with the Chinese eat doves, by the way, so they're not interested in white doves of peace. We suffered a reversal. Immediately after independence, the need was felt by the government headed by Jawaharlal Nehru, in which he made that comment that we don't even need the army. We are a peace-loving nation. Gandhi ka desh hai, it's Gandhi's country. And to quell minor disturbances, riots and crime, a police force is more than sufficient. We don't really need an army, is what I have heard about so far. Now what happened was, we suffered a surprise in 1947-48, then again in 62, again in 67. Coming back to the story about the Special Frontier Force. Now these are mostly, not all, but mostly Tibetan troops. And they're not part of the Indian Army. It is a classic paramilitary force, the Special Frontier Force, a special force, but a paramilitary force in which all these fighters are special forces soldiers, they are paratroopers, they are commandos, and they form part of the research and analysis wing, RAW. Initially, the core of Establishment 22, or the Special Frontier Force as we know them today, was the bodyguards, or were the bodyguards of the Dalai Lama when the Dalai Lama fled Tibet and came to India, and we gave him sanctuary and we set up a government in exile in Dharamsala. That was the time when these volunteers, very tough Tibetans, they volunteered for this force. And genetically, they are adept at fighting at high altitude areas. Not very many people know that initially they were trained by the CIA. They were trained by the American Green Berets. And they were trained by the best of the best in the business. So they have been used in the past against the Chinese for limited operations along the border, mostly reconnaissance. But this time, what they did was, the Chinese were feeling frisky, and Establishment 22, the boys of Vikas, or SFF as we know them, they went across, they hammered the Chinese, and they captured Chinese territory. One interesting fact I'd like to say and tell our audience about the SFF. I don't know what the current tradition in the SFF is, but one point in time, in the army or in the forces, we have something called the NOK, next of kin. So, let's say if I am there and I die or I fall in combat, right? So, my pension and all my monetary benefits go to my mother or my father. Something like that. So my mother or my father become my next of kin, as in my relatives, to whom my financial assets will be given to by the force. All Tibetans, without exception, they used to write in their forms against the next of kin, they used to write, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So that was the level of dedication to the Dalai Lama. I don't know what is the tradition right now, but hardy troops. We've always maintained, Vaibhav, in our various videos, that I think somebody is listening to us. I get this idea that somebody upstairs is listening to us. And even when we think ourselves that maybe we don't make so much of sense sometimes, because all our ideas are very simple ideas which we think need to be executed. But we had mentioned 1.5, 2 months back that you need to put these Sons of the Soil concept regiments and battalions of the Sikkim Scouts, the Garhwal Scouts, the Kumaon Scouts, the Arunachal Scouts, the Ladakh scouts, and the other scouts. You need to put them at the forefront with the Chinese. That happened. We also mentioned in the same video about putting the Special Frontier Force, and the Special Frontier Force was put. They did a fantastic job. So this is something that China is not bound to forget in a hurry. China, Weber, respects strength. Let us not fool ourselves. Let our policymakers, especially the bureaucrats who advise the Prime Minister, they have spent an entire career playing safe. A bureaucrat by his very nature plays safe. And they're very intelligent people. I'm not saying that they're not. But we must understand, this is not America that we're dealing with. This is not Europe that we're dealing with. We're dealing with China. China, which has no democracy. China, which has no electoral process. China, which does not have the rule of law as democracies know it. It does not have freedom of expression. It does not have freedom of religion. It is not secular in the sense that they dislike religion. Religion is banned.
This is a big long video. You can follow through this fellow's channel, Major Gaurav Arya's channel, and you can get more videos.
They're an atheist government. So we are not dealing with regular people. We're not dealing with a normal country. And this is something that China's wealth, China's money, had hidden from the eyes of the world deliberately.
He also maybe feared to tell what is happening in the Hong Kong, what is happening in the Muslim world of China, what is happening in the Christian society of China, and how they are acting there, what they are getting from there, all are my face. I am telling close to slavery, and every time I heard that Muslims are very good punishment getting from communist guys. Okay, you watch this video again from this channel. I'm just going to stop this channel.